lovely people, my name is Nicole, and today I want to talk to you guys about The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzi Lee. This book comes out on June 20th. My copy is in art, so if there are any changes made to the final edition, I cannot account for those, although I definitely will be picking up a finished edition once it comes out, because I freaking loved this book. This whole review is going to be spoiler free, so don't you worry if you have not had a chance to pick it up yet, although literally as soon as you get a chance, do it. Because like I said, I loved it. It's amazing. I gave it 5 stars. I am someone who, when I read, it's because I want to get emotionally connected to the characters. I want to feel like I am right there next to them, hanging out with them, being friends with them, going on their adventure with them, and I 100% got that with this book. Basically, this book is about Monty, who is going on his tour of Europe, which apparently is a thing that rich dudes did when they were like in their late teens, done with their formal schooling back in like the 18th century. This entire thing takes place in the 18th century Europe. He's going on his tour of Europe with his best friend Percy, and his sister is also staying with them for a little bit before she goes off to boarding school. Now, Monty is a bit of a he's a bit of a flirt, and it's gotten him into some trouble, especially the fact that he doesn't just flirt with girls, he also flirts with guys, and does more than flirt with both. They don't use the word bisexual in this, which I only forgive because the concept of sexuality as an identity wasn't a thing until the 20th century, but they do openly and explicitly talk about the fact that he's attracted to men and he's attracted to women. Again, they adhere to the gender binary, which I really only forgive because it's historical fiction, and so that is just the terminology they used at the time. So the three of them are on this tour, and then things go a little bit awry while they're in Paris, and then they end up going on this huge big adventure across Europe, and it's amazing, and there is so much great things about this book. So starting off with the characters, you have some awesome representation that tackles so many different issues about what was going on in the 18th century. You have Monty, who's dealing with being bisexual and being attracted to men as well as women in the 18th century, and the fact that sexual attraction between men was very, very frowned upon to the point of being illegal in a lot of places. And so he is struggling with that. He's also struggling with the fact that he's expected to behave himself and stop drinking to excess and stop sleeping around, and as soon as he finishes his tour, he's supposed to go back home and inherit his father's estate and basically learn to be a lord. And then you have Percy, who is the biracial son of some, I think, earl, and he's being raised by his aunt and uncle, who are both white nobility. And so he's in this sort of weird place in this era where people of color were not treated well, and he is dealing with the racism of the time, and it's a struggle because his best friend is in one of pretty much the most privileged groups he could possibly be in, and it does not even occur to him that his best friend could be going through this kind of struggle and oppression. And then you have Monty's little sister Felicity, who joins them on their adventure, and she talks a lot about the sexism of the time, how women are held up to different standards, different expectations, how she is supposed to go off to this finishing school, which, like, she wants to go to school, yeah, but she wants to go to school to get an education, not to learn how to sew and cross her legs nicely and how to flirt with noblemen. That's not what she's interested in, and unfortunately, that's what the school she's going to wants to teach her. So you have these 3 people who are all kind of dissatisfied with their lots in life, wanting to be able to just have some fun before they know that they are going to be sent off and trapped in their various destinations post-tour. All 3 of them go through some really great character development and go from teenagers to these really fascinating, complex people. Their relationships between each other are great. The sibling dynamic between Monty and Felicity, I mean, obviously it's different because it is an 18th century and people interacted differently with each other back then, but at the core of it, there's still that just really familiar sibling dynamic that's so great to see. It's so much fun to read about. The relationship between Monty and Percy is adorable. They have this sort of unrequited love thing. Monty makes it clear at the very beginning that he is head over heels in love with his best friend, and so they have this great back and forth flirty thing because Monty is just a very, very flirty person. Monty is actually just really, really funny. That's one thing I kind of expected it to be a little bit funny, a little bit lighthearted at times, but I did not expect it to be as funny as it was. This book was hilarious at times, like literally laugh out loud hilarious, and most of that was just because Monty was being an adorable idiot. Monty is definitely kind of a douchebag at times, but I love that it's not something that goes unchecked. He has Percy and Felicity by his side at all times, pretty much just telling him when he needs to back down and stop being such a jerk, when he needs to check his privilege, and it's so much fun. The dynamic between the three of them is absolutely phenomenal. And then the adventure that they go on, I don't want to say too much about what happens because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's kind of just one mishap after another, one adventure after another. As soon as they feel like one thing's been solved, something else comes up and they have to do this whole new thing, and a bunch of other characters come into their lives via these adventures that I absolutely love. One of my personal favorites is Scipio and his crew. Not gonna say who they are because spoilers, but I do love them. And I would just like to say thank you to my childhood of listening to the Thief Lord audiobook on repeat, because that is literally the only reason I know how to pronounce that name. But this book is just so much fun. It's a bunch of 18th century gays road tripping across Europe, and I was definitely nervous going into this because I'd heard a lot of hype about it, but as soon as I got to like the third page, I knew it was so deserving of all the hype. It's amazing, it's funny, it's charming, the characters are adorable and lovable, but also there are so many moments that are frustrating, yeah, but they're frustrating because you're so emotionally invested in the story and in the relationships between these characters, and you just want them to do the right thing and be happy, but they're idiots sometimes, but like they're lovable idiots, like they're your idiots. It's so great. I honestly cannot praise this book enough. They go on wacky adventures and meet all kinds of fascinating people. There's this really cool alchemy element that comes up. I do want to give a super quick trigger warning. The relationship between Monty and his dad is kind of abusive at times, so just be aware that that's in there. But overall, this is such a great story of people learning who they are, who they want to be, what they want to do with their life, and learning to stand up for themselves and to go after what they want, and I love it so much. I don't think I have anything else that I can say without getting too spoilery, so I'm going to end it here, but just know that this book is amazing. 5 out of 5 stars. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. As soon as it comes out, go pick one up from your local bookstore because it's amazing. Mackenzi Lee is so great, and I cannot wait to see what she has coming next because this is amazing. I love you guys, and I will see you later. Bye!